Dearest pen pals, in this video I shall evaluate a vintage-styled Italian-made fountain pen called the Tibaldi N60. I'll unbox it, show you the details, and perform a writing sample. Let's check it out. If you're a subscriber of the Gold Spot Pens channel, you may already know that I'm a big fan of Leonardo Officina Italiana pens. It's going to take a lot to convince me that any other Italian pen is equal to or better than my beloved Leos. But I'm an open-minded guy and am willing to give the Tibaldi a shot, especially after my friend Mr. Penboy Roy sang the praises of the N60 fountain pen on his YouTube channel. So this is the Tibaldi N60. It arrives to you in this paperboard type box. It's made out of recyclable materials. It has a reddish orange sleeve. This gray box comes in two parts. It has a drawer that has an outer sleeve yet, and it has Tibaldi is kind of in a glossy sort of print that's on here, and the box itself is a dark gray paperboard. It's got a whole bunch of marks on here to say that it's been manufactured by sustainable forestry and is also recyclable as well, which is a neat aspect considering that you may end up tossing the box. The pen itself sits on a nice felt platform with a elastic sash that goes around it, kind of like a pageant winner here, and underneath here you have the Tibaldi warranty, which kind of looks like an Amex Black Cards, but doesn't have any magnetic stripe or chip, so you can't really go spending this anywhere. But it does have on here a guarantee for 24 months after purchase. And usually this is a spot where they say that dealers would stamp it, but like I've said this in the past, if we were to stamp every single pen that we sent out, it would probably never get to you because we would have such a backlog of pens that would need to get stamped and dated with their warranty cards. But if at any case, if you ever needed to do warranty service, you would always just be able to refer back to us and we would give the proper proof of purchase to make sure that it was bought by an authorized dealer. And also, speaking of dealers, we have a little tiny bag here. It's a black nondescript bag that says Tibaldi 2 fountain pen cartridges, and in here it's a resealable little baggie that's here. And you would see, when you open it up, you have 2 international style ink cartridges, one in blue and one in black. And here's the pen itself. This is the N60 design. It is a cylindrical type barrel that has slight convex shape to the barrel and the cap. The barrel and cap taper towards the end, where you would see a jewel, which is a layer of a ring of palladium that then surrounds a little tiny bit of the acrylic that's used in the barrel and the cap at the very end of the finial top, and also the same on the bottom. This is a style that's very reminiscent of vintage pens. You'd see this in, let's say, Parker Vacuumatics and a lot of other pens manufactured in the mid 20th century. So the metal on this is actually palladium. So you have palladium trim, palladium necktie sort of clip, and palladium cap rings, 3 of them, and also the palladium bit that's at the end here as well. Other than that, the rest of the pen is made out of this nice green acrylic resin, which has this mottled sort of look that is reminiscent of vintage pens and a lot of other things that kind of had this similar style back in the day. There's 4 different colors, of which I have the 2 here. This is the green, and then this is smarkened blue, which kind of has a bit blue, but it's a bit more of a demure sort of blue and has lots of tones of yellow ochre and then black as well. And the only subtle piece of branding on this pen is the word Tibaldi laser engraved on the cap, and on the back here it says Made in Italy. So not only does this material appeal to the vintage enthusiast, but it also has a bit of some depth and translucency to the various colors. And particularly in the smarkened blue, you would see some areas where you could actually spy the converter that's on the inside, or you could see the inside of the cap threads of the cap just because some of the areas of yellow are just super translucent, but you wouldn't be able to see through the blacks per se, but like the yellow and the blue areas have a sort of translucency that look layered and then also allow you to see into various aspects of the pen's mechanism that's there too. So it's a pretty cool, neat aspect of this pen that isn't normally just seen when you just see a static picture of it. It's a pretty neat depth of this material that the N60 is made out of. And to get an idea of the Tibaldi N60's size, here's the pen compared with a Leonardo Momento Zero, Edison Menlo, Esterbrook SD, and a Narwhal original fountain pen. It takes one full turn to uncap the pen and reveal a black resin grip section that tapers slightly and then flares out right before terminating at the nib. The nib itself is a number 6 size stainless steel nib. Tibaldi won't divulge in the secret of where this nib comes from or whether it's Jowo or Bach, but this does appear to be at least a custom engraved design that has not only a custom design for the nib, but then also has an ebonite feed, which is unique because usually if you'd see Jowo or Bach, it would be a plastic feed, but this is ebonite, which also accentuates the performance of this pen, which we'll get to in the writing sample. The nib sizes that the Tibaldi N60 is available in is extra fine, fine, medium, broad, and double broad nibs. The Tibaldi fills with the conventional international size ink cartridge or converter filling system, of which a threaded converter is included with the pen, as well as the 2 ink cartridges that you saw in the unboxing. For the writing sample, I inked the N60 with Tasha Sabi Midori because I think it pairs really well with the Smarken blue pen. And it's a blue ink that shades and has a greenish brown sheen as well. So it's a really nice looking ink. It's truly an impressive and underrated ink, at least in my opinion. The N60's ebonite feed lays down a wet line and is the key element of this pen's writing experience. If you enjoy a wet ink flow with a slight hint of feedback, this Tibaldi pen is a prime choice. The line width is typical of European size nibs. The inclusion of a double broad size is perfect to match the superior flow of the ebonite feed. I know many folks are fond of the double broad nibs these days, and this Tibaldi N60 doubles down on the BB. Just be sure to have paper like Rhodia, Clairefontaine, or Tomoe River that can handle the ink saturation. If you'd like to switch up to a slightly drier, thinner line, flip over the nib for a pleasant reverse writing experience. Thanks to the N60's acrylic resin construction, the pen is comfortable to write with posted or unposted. Despite posting to an impressive 6.8 inches in length, the lightweight cap posts with good balance and feel in hand. The grip diameter and overall size are above average, yet I wouldn't consider this an oversized pen. The N60's vintage styling, ample size, comfortable feel, and exceptional flow surpasses my lofty standards for a quality Italian fountain pen. It looks great and is an exceptional writing pen, but is it worth the cost, especially when compared to other steel nib fountain pens? Sure, you can find many acrylic fountain pens with a number 6 size steel nib for $150 to $200. I actually have a couple of them right here. You have the Esterbrook SD and the Edison Menlo. The Tibaldi N60 retails for $295, with the US pen retailers like yours truly offering the pen at a discounted price of $236. The key here is the ebonite feed. Most pens that use either a Bach or Jowo number 6 nib will have a plastic feed that doesn't have the same sort of wet flow as the ebonite feed on the N60. It's a distinctive writing experience that is appreciable and justifies the premium price. If you love the design of the N60, you can also collect the matching rollerball and ballpoint pen in 4 different colors. Find them all on the Goldspot Pens website. Since this is our first video on Tibaldi, I don't have any additional videos to guide you down the rabbit hole of this particular brand. However, I can recommend that you take a look at another Italian fountain pen that uses ebonite feeds in the Leonardo Furore Grande, or the Momento Zero Grande, which you can find there. Never miss a new fine pen video by subscribing to the Goldspot Pens channel right there. Stay inky, my friends. Take care.